we're all living in the age of AI, right? It feels like magic. It's writing our emails, it's creating incredible art, it's changing, well, everything. But behind all that magic, there are these hidden dangers, risks that most of our security tools were just never ever designed to see. I mean, think about it. All of our traditional security playbooks, the firewalls, the antivirus software we've relied on for decades, they're all looking for attack patterns we already know. But the threats that target AI are brand new. It's kind of like trying to catch a ghost with a butterfly net. The tool just isn't right for the job. And that really leads us to the biggest question for anyone using AI or, building with it. If you can't even see the risks, how in the world can you trust the system? To figure that out, we have to look at where these dangers are hiding. So, here's our game plan. First, we're going to dig into AI's hidden supply chain. Then, we'll follow the journey your data takes. After that, we'll uncover a whole new wave of attacks aimed right at the AI itself. And finally, we'll talk about the governance and guardrails you need to keep it all safe. Okay, let's start at the very beginning, but probably not your beginning. The security of any AI model doesn't start when you type in your first prompt. Nope, it starts way before that, with its creation and a supply chain of different vendors and data sources that's almost completely invisible to you. So the very first question you've got to ask is, where did this model come from? Was it built from scratch, in-house by a vendor with their own security team poking and prodding it? Or is it based on an open source model? Look, both of these can be really secure, but you have to check for totally different things. And vetting this supply chain, it's absolutely non-negotiable. You can't just take your vendor's word for it. You have to map out their entire ecosystem of partners. You need to ask for the receipts, the formal security audits, and then you need to get it in writing that they'll keep testing it. Because remember, it only takes one weak link to break the entire chain.
It really all boils down to this. In the AI world, knowing your vendor's supply chain is every bit as important as knowing the vendor themselves.
All right, so once you've done your homework on where the model came from, the focus shifts. Now it's about your data. The second you enter a prompt, your information starts this really complex journey, and there are new security risks at every single stop. From the very moment you hit send, your data is on the move. It gets collected, then the AI processes it, then it gets stored somewhere, and eventually it gets deleted. Each one of those steps, input, processing, storage, deletion, is a place where things can go wrong. It needs its own security. Now, when you're using a shared AI service, think of it like living in a digital apartment building. Customer data isolation, well, that's the wall between your apartment and your neighbors. And if that wall is weak or has a hole in it, your secret info could end up in their AI's response, or theirs could end up in yours. That's about as bad as it gets. Okay, this next part is a little subtle, but it's so important. We all get what it means to delete a file. You drag it to the trash, you empty the trash, it's gone. But with AI, it's not that simple. An AI model can actually memorize information. So even if you delete the original file, the AI might still hold a memory of it. The real trick isn't just deleting data, it's purging the model, making it truly forget what it learned from your data. And the thing holding all of this together, of course, is encryption. But it's not good enough to just encrypt data when it's sitting on a hard drive. Real security means you're protecting it everywhere, when it's flying across the internet, when it's stored, and, this is the really tricky part, even while the AI is actively using it in memory. So we've talked about protecting the system and protecting the data. But what about the attackers? Well, they're not using their old playbooks. They've come up with a whole new wave of attacks designed to exploit the very way an AI thinks. The most famous of these new attacks is called prompt injection. You can think of it like hypnotism for an AI. It's the art of crafting this one clever sentence that tricks the model into breaking its own rules, making it ignore all its safety training and spill secrets or just do whatever the attacker wants. And to get how big a deal this is, the AI Security Alliance said it perfectly. Prompt injection attacks are the SQL injection of the AI era. It's not some tiny bug in the code, It's an attack on the most fundamental way we talk to these systems. It's an attack on the front door. And then there's something even sneakier: data poisoning. This isn't about breaking down the front door. This is about corrupting the AI's entire education. An attacker can secretly feed the model bad data while it's learning, embedding these hidden biases, or even building a secret backdoor that only they know how to open down the road. And that's exactly why you need to be a little skeptical. If a vendor tells you they're just using traditional cybersecurity tools to protect their AI, that's a massive red flag. It means they have huge blind spots. They're basically flying blind to all these new attacks. You have to ask them if they're using modern frameworks built for AI, like MITRE Atlas. Fighting these new attacks isn't something you can just leave to technology. The strongest defense is actually human. It comes down to having the right governance, the right people, the right policies, and the right plans to manage these totally unique risks. Your old incident response plan? Let's be honest, it's pretty much obsolete here. A plan that's ready for AI has to think about brand new problems, like what do you do if your model gets poisoned? It needs special playbooks, it needs AI experts on the emergency call, and it needs totally new ways to fix things, like being able to roll a model back to an older, uncorrupted version. One of the most powerful security tools, one that's often overlooked, is called Explainable AI, or XAI. Think about it. You can't secure a black box. If an AI gives you a really bizarre or harmful answer, you need to be able to look inside and understand why. XAI is what gives you that ability. It turns a mystery into a problem you can actually solve. But really, all the plans and all the tools in the world, they don't matter if you can't answer this one simple question. Who in your organization is the one person ultimately accountable for AI security? If a name doesn't immediately pop into your head, that responsibility is almost definitely going to fall through the cracks. So the main takeaway here is that AI security isn't just a feature you can buy. It's not a box you can check off on a list. It's a continuous, always evolving conversation. It's all about knowing the right questions to ask your provider and, honestly, never stopping. So we've pulled back the curtain on the hidden dangers, and hopefully we've armed you with the right questions. But that leaves one final question. And this one, well, this one's for you to answer. In this brand new world of AI, what level of risk are you truly willing to accept?